Hello friends, welcome to my channel 5 Minutes History. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary on June 28, 1914 is widely regarded as the spark that ignited World War I. Although tensions among European powers had been building for decades, this event served as the immediate trigger for a conflict that led to a full-scale global war. During the Russo-Turkish War of 1877-78, Russia emerged victorious over the Ottoman Empire, and through the Treaty of San Stefano gained control of vast territories and established a large independent Bulgaria under heavy Russian influence. Fearing Russian dominance in the Balkans, other great European powers, especially Britain and Austria-Hungary, pushed to revise the treaty at the Congress of Berlin. The new Treaty of Berlin of 1878 significantly reduced Bulgaria's size, returned some land to the Ottomans, and gave official recognition to the Principality of Serbia as a fully sovereign state. It also gave Austria-Hungary the right to occupy and administer Bosnia and Herzegovina, while still officially under Ottoman sovereignty. The population of Bosnia was largely South Slavic, including Eastern Orthodox Serbs, Roman Catholic Croats, and Muslim Bosniaks, many of whom identified more closely with Serbia or Pan-Slavic nationalism than with Austro-Hungarian Empire. Especially the Bosnian Serbs saw Serbia as a potential liberator or protector against the foreign rule. Over time, Austria-Hungary's presence in Bosnia was seen by many South Slavs as a form of imperial occupation, increasing resentment among Serbian nationalists. In 1908, Austria-Hungary formally annexed Bosnia and Herzegovina, further angering the South Slavs across the Balkans. The Balkan region soon became a hub for nationalist movements, with groups like Young Bosnia aiming to overthrow Austro-Hungarian rule and unite South Slavs into a Yugoslav state, a united South Slavic nation. Secret Serbian organizations like Black Hand and Narodna Odbrana, or National Defense, supported them with weapons, training, and logistics, viewing violence and assassination as valid means to achieve Slavic unity and independence. In June 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire, visited Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia, with his wife Sophie, serving in his capacity as Inspector General of Armed Forces. South Slavic nationalists viewed the Archduke as a powerful symbol of Austro-Hungarian domination and thus plotted for his assassination. Members of Young Bosnia, Gavrilo Princip, Nedeljko Kabrinovic, and Trifko Grabrez were selected for the assassination, as they were young, ideologically driven, and willing to die for the cause. Black Hand, which operated within the Serbian military, provided them with weapons, training, and safe passage into Bosnia. On June 28, 1914, Franz Ferdinand and his wife were in a royal motorcade traveling through Sarajevo with little protection, giving the assassins multiple opportunities to strike. The first attempt came from Kabrinovic, who threw a bomb at the Archduke's car, but it bounced off and exploded under another vehicle, injuring several people. Kabrinovic attempted to swallow poison and jump into the nearby river, but was captured. Despite the failed attack, the Archduke insisted on continuing his visit and later decided to change his route to visit the wounded in the hospital. Due to a communication error, the driver took a wrong turn, passing directly in front of Gavrilo Princip, who happened to be standing near a cafe. Seizing the opportunity, Princip fired two shots at close range. One struck Franz Ferdinand in the neck, while the other hit Sophie in the abdomen. Princip tried to shoot himself, but was immediately seized and arrested. After being shot, both Ferdinand and his wife lost consciousness and collapsed while being rushed to governor's residence for medical treatment. Sophie was pronounced dead upon arrival, and the Archduke succumbed to his injuries about 10 minutes later. In the hours following the assassination, anti-Serb riots erupted in Sarajevo and other parts of Austro-Hungarian Empire. The police and local authorities took no action to stop the violence. Approximately 1,000 properties owned by Serbs, including homes, shops, schools, and banks, were either looted or destroyed. Several Serbs were killed and many more were injured. Austria-Hungary's response to the assassination was swift and aggressive. With the backing of its powerful ally, Germany, Austria-Hungary issued an ultimatum to Serbia with a series of harsh demands. Serbia accepted most of the conditions but resisted a few, particularly those that threatened its sovereignty. Unsatisfied, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia on July 28, 1940, exactly 1 month after the assassination. This localized conflict quickly escalated due to the complex web of alliances that had developed across Europe in the preceding years. The Triple Alliance formed between Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy in 1882 promised that each country would support the other if war ever broke out between an ally and another great power. In response, France, Britain, and Russia formed the Triple Entente in 1907 as a counterweight to the Triple Alliance. As such, when Austria-Hungary declared war against Serbia, Russia, a protector of Slavic nations and an ally of Serbia, mobilized its forces in Serbia's defense. In response, Germany, an ally of Austria-Hungary, declared war on Russia. France, allied with Russia, was soon drawn in against Germany and Austria-Hungary. When German troops invaded neutral Belgium to reach France, Britain entered the war, honoring its commitment to protect Belgian neutrality. Within weeks, what began as a regional dispute had spiraled into a full-blown world war, one of the deadliest conflicts in history, claiming an estimated 30 million military lives and an additional 8 million civilian deaths. While the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand was the immediate trigger for World War I, it was not the sole cause. Long-standing tensions rooted in militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism had already set the stage for the conflict. The assassination simply lit the fuse, revealing how fragile peace in Europe truly was, and ushering in a war that would profoundly shape the course of the 20th century.